This is me, Ruowen Huang. Today, I'm gonna share a story about a hummingbird with you. But before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author, spirit coach, and also a psychic. If you have been following my Facebook, then you would know I had this trauma day with a hummingbird yesterday. So today, I'm just gonna share the story with you guys. So anyway, the story started with, you all know cats sometimes bring a prey to their owner, right? So, that happened quite a lot in my house. Sometimes birds, sometimes rats, But I don't particularly feel good about bird prey. Therefore, all the cats in my house will have a belt on so can prevent them from catching any bird prey to me, right? So I really haven't seen dead bird for a long time. I see dead mouse sometimes, but haven't been bird for a while, right? So yesterday, Mia, my cat, when I open the door and she's coming, and then there's something in her mouth, right? So it's one of those days like, oh, I hope it's not mouse. I hope it's not mouse because I don't like mouse, right? So I'm like following her around, and then along the way she kind of drop what I thought was a mouse, and it turned out to be a bird. A hummingbird. So when I look at a hummingbird, I was shocked, right? But when I pay a little closer attention, I realized the hummingbird is still breathing. So sure enough, after noticing this hummingbird still breathing, I'm gonna follow my cat, and then I go through this battle because now my cat Mia is planning to bring this cat to show off to the other cat called Michael, so they can play with this dying bird altogether or something. So sure enough, by the time I caught her, I'm literally trying to battle with two cats for over whatever you call dying hummingbird or something like that. So when I get a bird, as I never catch, I had bird pet before, but I never catch a hummingbird or look very much not dead, but you can tell it's either traumatized or it's, huffing and puffing, right? So I was kind of panicking. I didn't know what to do. So I put it in a box and, don't know what to do. So sure enough, I'm calling my husband a little bit, panicking because my husband grew up from the country, right? So I'm assuming that he probably have a little bit of idea what to do with this kind of situation. So I text him and asked him, what should I do with this? I just get off the prey out of my cat's mouth, and then it's a hummingbird. I don't know, maybe it's injured, it just lies still and huffing and puffing. It looked to me very alike. So sure enough, my husband suggests me to kill it. From all goodwill, I guess people who grow up in country or nature would know they are not gonna make it. So the best way you can do to them is don't prolong their suffering, right? So when he suggests that, I cannot do it. I'm like, I cannot do it. Are you kidding me? I cannot kill it. So anyway, my husband said, but if you don't kill it, it's going to die anyway. I said, well, I don't care. I cannot physically kill the bird. So I'm hoping it recover, and if it doesn't recover, at least it would die in peace, but not being torn into pieces by my cat, right? And then, so sure enough, my husband said, well, you should not prolong their suffering. And I said, well, I'm not going to kill it, so how do you want me to kill it anyway? So he said, well, give it back to the cat. I said, neither choice I cannot make. So anyway, I'm just going to leave it in the bowl somewhere that they cannot, be intruded or, bothered by cat. So sure enough, before I leave the house, I decide to give the crazy dying traumatized bird a little bit Reiki, right? It's really crazy. I'm saying, okay, I hope you recover, but if you don't recover, I hope you die in peace, because I have to, rush to a lunch meeting, right? So sure enough, after I done that, I covered the lift. I went out to my meeting. Just right outside my door, I met another guy, a neighbor who I believe know everything about plant, everything about, hummingbird, nature, things like that. So I explained the story to him, and then he, very nice, he's, not very direct as my husband, but he said, well, I will agree with your husband. He's not going to make it. And I said, well, why you guys keep saying that? He said, because the nature is he's not going to make it. So it's better you kill it. I said, how do you even kill the bird? He said, just twist the neck. I said, I cannot do it. you know what, I cannot do it. So if he's meant to die, when I come back, he will die. Otherwise, I'm going to have faith he will live. So sure enough, he's, shaking his head saying, well, you do know hummingbird need to be hydrated all the time, right? They need to drink a lot of liquid. If he's lying like that, not moving, by the time you come back, you will be dead for sure. I said, well, then let the nature decide. I'm not going to be the one who decided, but I believe he's going to live, all right? So sure enough, out to my meeting, I was in the lunch. About 10 minutes after I left, I got a phone call from my cleaner lady. And then basically my cleaner lady start getting, freaking out and start calling me, say, what should I do with a bird? I said, what do you mean that what should you do with a bird? He said, it looked like he want to get out Should I just let it go? I said, well, no, because my instinct tell me he's still recovering. It's just traumatized. He's not going to fly far. I said, well, can you just leave it there? He said, but it really looked like he want to leave. I said, well, just leave it there until I come back, right? After my lunch meeting, I'll come back and I'll handle this. So sure enough, we got it all settled. The person who had lunch with me decided to come back home with me and check on this hummingbird, right? So we check on the hummingbird. This person decide to Google it. So now I'm being challenged by authority versus my husband. Then it's someone who I think know everything. Then you cannot really fight with Google, right? Because Google always know everything, right? So this friend is like, you have to figure out a way to get them eat something. Otherwise, they're going to die in 4 hours. They cannot survive 4 hours without, liquid or something. So sure enough, we try every way to get nectar around the beak or anything just to stimulate the eating. But it's not doing anything, right? I guess this poor hummingbird was so traumatized, it's not really eating anything. So we say, okay, how about we just put the nectar in there? So maybe it's more comfortable. Maybe he would, pick up some food himself or something like that. So we put it there long time. It turned out he's not really taking any. But instead, every time he tried to fly, he fall into the nectar water. So eventually, he cannot fly anymore because his whole body covered with sugar water, nectar, sugar water, basically. So it looked like even he tried to fly, he can no longer fly far. And then that's the time, another set of friends come in and then look at it and say, oh, it looked really bad. We really don't think it's going to make it. And then the new set of friends suggest, how about, spray water on them. And so that way you can wash out diluted all the sugar water, right? And then also give them some hydrant or something. I said, well, but they would be all wet. He said, well, it's like raining day, a raining day. So birds fly in the rain and then, just wash out. So just to test it out if it works. So I decided to use the spray bottle that I use on my cat, right? So I start to spray the water on the bird, but it turned out this hummingbird actually love it, really loving it, because it start opening a mouth, try to get the water from what I spray and try to lick around the water around the container that we kept him. And then, but his whole body are wet, that really wet, right? So he's standing on the perch that we made for him for a really long time to a point that he doesn't move. We thought that's it. That's the end of his life. We literally finished all our 6 hours of torture of this bird. He decided he's gonna die perched on the chopstick or something. But what's so funny is we will continue talking and then leave the container on the side without a lid and meanwhile make sure there's no cat going to attack him or something like that if he's ready to fly. And he stayed in the same position for 1 hour. All of a sudden, he decided to take off. And this time when he take off, he just flew away. He just flew away like he is as normal as hell. So you know what I mean? So all of a sudden, at that moment, I'm so excited. And then I'm like texting my husband and then I try to prove me right? Women have a tendency. I want to prove myself right. So I'm like, good thing I did not listen to you to kill it. Now I'm going to go to bed, feel good, like I save a life instead of killing one. You know what I mean? So why am I sharing this story with you? I mean, it's a long story. Sorry to listen to me share this story. Why am I sharing this story with you is actually relate to myself, right? My eczema been going really bad on the left leg. And on the eczema, I noticed some part on my inner cell is being triggered. It's the part like I do not believe I have ability to sustain certain things that I do. Usually that may be because I have some kind of self-esteem issue or something, but when it trigger, which I'm very aware of, when it got trigger, my left leg with eczema, Xing would get really bad eczema. My right leg is cold. I'm walking on a difficult path by myself. My left leg is retiring to very closely to, I'm not sure I have ability to sustain this. You know what I mean? So I've been struggling with this internally and things like that, right? And then I feel like my spirit guide or something being continue giving me a little bit no here and there to tell me to keep believing in myself and keep moving on, right? Just 2 days before this story happened to you, I actually saw a post on short video on the website. It's basically talking about this specific type of bamboo. People always say bamboo shoot all over the place, right? But there's this specific kind of bamboo, you have to plant it on the ground for 4 or 5 years. So for 4 or 5 years, they only had about 3 centimeters tall, right? So people will think, hey, I planted bamboo for 4 or 5 years, and it's only 3 centimeters tall. It ain't gonna go anywhere. It doesn't look like it's healthy or something, right? But usually, if you can pass the 3 centimeters after 4 or 5 years, this bamboo will then start shooting really fast. It will go about 30 centimeters a month, so it will quickly sprout to 50 meters tall, right? So this specific bamboo, the first 4 or 5 years, they're simply planting their roots. So they need to go make their root really deep down. So by the time they shoot out, they're not gonna fall down, crumble, or things like that. So when I was struggling with my internal thing, I see this video. I kind of got an idea with what are they trying to tell me, right? I kind of got an idea what you tried to tell me. But, as you all know, it doesn't matter how people tell you what, right? When we are in that mode, ourselves or really low ourselves, you usually take some battling back and forth, right? So when this hummingbird story happened, what really hit me is I always believe my sensation, and I believe where it's gonna take me, and I actually have a faith it's gonna take me there. But sometimes journey is quite lonely, right? It's sometimes hard and sometimes lonely. And sometimes because the progress is so slow, you don't really see where it's going. Or you know where it's going, but because the process takes so long, you're sometimes questioning it. So really the mindset is very similar to that bamboo, because in that post that people say, a lot of people give up before the bamboo even reach that 5th year, right, to shoot. A lot of people, because they don't see results for such a long time, they give up, and only few who are willing to wait until it shoot. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, it's not just me. Many of us are dealing with this all the time, right? When we continue doing something in our own lonely journey, doing something that we believe is gonna get us there, but we spend so much time and effort, we don't see the result. We sometimes get discouraged, and we sometimes get frustrated and not believing ourselves anymore, right? So this is a time when my spirit guide throw the whole day event to me. What it tells me is, because at the beginning when I pick up the hummingbird, I know it's gonna live. My sensation tell me it's gonna live, even though my husband will represent what the majority of the people deal with, the first authority. This is what everybody say. My perceived knowledge, gardener neighbors will become the second authority. That means that person is no better than what average people do. And then they say it's not gonna make it, right? But I still have a feeling it's gonna make it, right? My third friends represent Google. Google is pretty much the authority that's beyond the authority. Tell me it's not gonna make it, but I believe it's gonna make it, right? Normal people will give up on the second stage when they bring out a higher authority, or the third stage. Come on, you cannot fight Google. Google say he's not gonna make it, he's not gonna make it. You know what I mean? So, but I believe it's gonna make it. Why? Because my sensation tell me so. Even though it doesn't have any logic to back me up, it doesn't have any database like to tell you this is gonna be it, but I believe it's gonna make it, right? So what the end result is? The end result is, if I persist, it will happen for me. You know what I mean? So after this, I get it. I'll come back and continue doing. I don't know where my future is, but I will go a step at a time, because I think I learned my lesson now, right? So this is my own example to share with you. The reason I share with you is, throughout the year, a lot of people were asking me, how can I see the sign? They're expecting sign to show up certain way and certain time, or certain form. When the higher spirit want to tell you something, it have to show you certain way, certain form, so you get it. But what I'm trying to say here is, yesterday I simply lived my life. I lived every moment of my life. It's not until the end of the day when I lie on the bed, I get what that lesson is. You know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, sometimes when a spirit guide try to give you information, try to teach you a lesson, try to make you learn something, you may or may not understand what it is when you are in it. Sometimes it comes later, right? But what I'm saying is, it's always there, right? It doesn't come in very specific form, specific way, so you get it. Sometimes it takes things to settle for a day or two, then you're like, oh, I think I learned my lesson from it. So really, what I'm here to suggest is, usually if you live your moment, you be present and live your moment, you will learn your lesson. You know what I mean? You will get the information what your spirit guide tried to teach you and all that. So anyway, just that's why I want to share this story with you. I just want to let you know, sometimes help may come in different shape, different form. For me, my help comes from a little hummingbird, right? But I think it teach me a lot. Teach me about my own faith. Teach me about sometimes authority may be right. They may be right. It apply to majority of people, but do understand, you may be like me, it may not apply to you. So back to a thing, you know, many of you looking for a sign, live your day. Really, they are just everywhere. So today I'm sharing a little story of the hummingbird with you. But here, I want to answer a question too based on this, because someone asked me, if it is just food chain, why am I saving a hummingbird, right? Why am I disrupting the nature, food chain? Here, I'm going to answer you. It's very simple. My cat is not killing for eating. I feed them well, okay? So they're killing for fun of it, right? So they're killing for fun of it. At that specific moment, very often they kill it outside. They bring it back to me. There's nothing I can do. There's a reason why this living bird is happening in front of my face, and put me in a situation I can choose to let it get killed, or I can choose to save him. At that moment, because I live my moment, I choose to save it. Very simple. Why? Because I can. Because I can. That's why I'm saving it, right? Result, he might die. Yes, he may. But at that particular moment, I feel like saving him. Therefore, I go with my feeling and I save him. And I'm willing to deal with whatever consequence that come. You know what I mean? So it's a very simple thing. It doesn't matter you are human or something. At that moment, if I have ability to save you, I will most likely save you. It's just like if a lion, today is a lion, put you in the mouth. He's not hungry, he just got fat. But he just find you, fun. He want to play with you. And I happen to walk by. If at that moment, I think I can fight that lion and get you out of his mouth, I would probably do the same too. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. So at that moment, I don't have the time to judge or decide is this a food chain, or what should I do with it, or does that make sense or doesn't make sense. And that instant moment, I don't have time for it. I got about 2 seconds to decide if I want to save this one, and I choose I do. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. Again, just my personal experience, but I thought I'd share with you guys all. It's been a long story, I get it, but I hope I can give you guys a little bit, help, like maybe you are going through what I'm going through. So again, if you like what I'm doing, you can always join me live on Facebook, or go to subscribe my YouTube channel, or go to my website, ruowen.com. Till then, I'll see you guys tomorrow.